Good morning and welcome to the craft room. I'm Ellie Barnes. I'm so glad you can join me this morning. We're busy today going to be making Father's Day, a Father's Day card, especially for the fishermen in your life. So I'm just going to check that we are coming through on the right space and that we've got things happening. People are joining me. Give me a thumbs up if you're joining me or say hello. And I'll try and keep an eye on the comments. I'm pretty slack with that. I haven't got my head around keeping an eye on the comments while crafting, while talking to you. I'll get there one day. But let's get started. This is going to be a card that takes a bit of effort and a bit of work, but it's well worth it when we're finished. So I'm going to not muck around today. I am going to turn you straight down to the desk and we're going to get started. So just get ready for that. We'll go down to the desk and see if I can get it set up right. That looks, oh, I've got to switch you, don't forget. Just close your eyes if this makes you dizzy. There we go. Okay, so what we're working on is from the annual catalogue again. And I'm going to open it up to page 78 and 79. And we're working on this with this fabulous fishing set. So we've got some lovely stamps and dies. And what we're going to do, we've got paper and an embossing folder. We're not using those today. We're going to concentrate on something a little like this, but it's actually going to be a bit more 3D. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and hold it up a little closer to the camera so that you can see. So we're doing a fishing tackle box. So we'll pop that aside and we'll get things started. I'll bring in my grid paper. I always find it best to work with the grid paper. It enables me to get things straight. Now, I do want to say there is a lot involved in this card. And so to help us along, I've actually done some prep work this time. So let's start with having a look at the dies and the stamp set. So the stamp set has a number of greetings. Good things come to those that await. So glad you're my dad. Happy retirement, congratulations, and Father's Day. It comes with a lovely fish that with it's a two-step, so you get to colour with stamping. Then you've got some fishing lures, there and there, another one there, a float, and some, well, you'll see what we're going to use this one for shortly. Now here we have the dies that make the tackle box. We have dies that cut out the lures and the fish. There's some hooks, there's some other sinkers, a float and another lure. There's some lovely sea waves, or not actually waves but ripples, and also some pull or circle ripples where you're pulling either fish out or a float is bobbing up and down. So we'll use a fair bit of this today, but as I said, I have done some prep work. So I'm just going to put those aside. Our first step we need to do is cut a card, and we're not doing the normal size card. Now I'm doing my fishing box. My tackle box is going to be red with a grey silver interior. So instead of doing the normal 14.8, I'm going to make this card 14 so that it fits the tackle box. And I'm going to cut the card, score the card at 10.5. So it's just a little bit smaller than what we normally do. And I'm going to fold that like so. So there's our card. Now the next step I would be doing is I'd be taking these two dies. Now I've done this because it does take a while. And I'd be cutting one out in basic grey, not basic grey, smoky slate I'm using, smoky slate in that. And I'd be cutting two of those, plus another two which just has this half on it. And I'll show you what I mean. So there's my one basic grey there. I have two of these. And then I have two halves. These are all the inside bits that have come out of these. We're going to use two of these and one of those. No, we're not. We're using one of those. Got it wrong myself. One of those and two of those. And they are the same size, if I've got that right. No, I haven't. I've got the wrong ones. I need to find the right ones. I thought I had that all set up. I might have had it round the wrong way. They all look the same, don't they? But they're slightly wider, some of them. So I need to find, they're those ones. That's a wider one. I will find them. Oh, isn't this funny? What we can use is these. That's what we'll use. There they are. That's what we had. All these I'm going to put aside. These ones. They'll make great if I'm stamping a sentiment on something and I want a grey background. I've got a whole pile over here because I did make another card to try this out, and I used a dark brown and a light brown. I used early espresso and crumb cake. So I've kept these and I'll be able to use them for sentiments on other cards. Just to help out, not waste anything. Now we've got two small ones and one large one. We're going to put those aside and you'll see what I'm doing with that. The first step here, put the dies aside. So imagine I've just cut all that out. Saved us a good 10-15 minutes, that did. We're going to glue two of these together. And I'm just going to glue it very lightly. I want it glued all the way around. And I also want to make sure it's glued in the middle here so that they stay together. And we'll pop this on. So this is going to form, just make it a little bit more 3D looking than if I just used one. If I use too many, the card won't fold flat. And we don't want that to happen, especially if you need to post it. You want to be able to put it in the envelope. So we'd let that dry. And I'm going to glue these two together. Now, I did find making this card that I was constantly having sticky fingers. So I would recommend, if you're going to do this, have a wipe nearby, because there's lots of fiddly bits and lots of glue ended up everywhere with me. All over my fingers. So we'll just let that one dry too. And I've just realised I haven't cut out a base for that. I don't need to cut it out of using that die because it's a bit too big for what I want it for. So I'm just going to cut 13 centimetres by 4 centimetres. So while that's drying, I'll just get a piece of smoky slate. right down the back here. Have I got a small piece I can use? Yes, I do. Got lots of pieces in my scrap thing. Yes, that will work. So 4 centimetres by 13 centimetres. Now, the next step we're going to do is I'm going to glue my tackle box together. So, we'll make this will be the bottom tray of my tackle box. And that just goes on like so. Now, I'm only having 2 layers or 2 trays in my tackle box. I have seen other people do 3, but I think 2 will be enough for what I'm doing and to give you an idea how it's done. And that was really crooked, Ellie. Can't believe I did that. Busy looking around at other things, not taking notice. That looks better. And this one I told you I get sticky fingers. What happened to my... Got to wipe them. Glue's everywhere. Now this one I'm going to glue onto this piece. To make the upper tray. Now I'm going to glue it so the little tab hangs over the edge. So you can see I've taken that right to the end. I'll just wipe that bit of glue off there. And I'll let those dry for a minute. Now before I put this in here, you can see my corners are square, but my tackle box tray is rounded. Now, we don't have something to round the corners. I've still got sticky fingers. A stamp that's dedicated to that, but you can use any circular stamp. This one's actually quite good, but anything that's got a curve that you can put the corners into. And I'm just going to put them in like so. If I can get that back in there. Now come on, cooperate. You did this before really well. Oh, when everyone's watching you can't do it, can you? That's one. And that's 2. So that's rounded off my corners, so I can stick my tray now in here. And the base of the card matches. So that's right up against there, that fold. So there's the bottom tray. Now with the top tray, I need to trim these corners here. It's just a tad long on that side. And that side. So we just get all that off. And I need to trim the back here. Where the tray would join to the other half of it. There's a bit more there that needs to come off. So we've got now our 2 trays. And I need to, I'll just get rid of all these little bits out of the road. I need to make a couple of little risers so that the tray will sit there. So again, I'm going to go and get some grey cardstock. This is the smoky slate. Now I only need a smallish piece. I've got a small piece in here. That might be wide enough. The best thing about having all those bits is then you don't waste any. That'll be wide enough. In fact, that'll be plenty wide. I was only going to do 3 centimetres, but this will be 2. I might actually keep it at 3. And we will cut, get it straight. That's me moving it after I put it straight. Cut it down to 3 centimetres. Now I'm going to score. Now I did sit down and work out the best way to do this and how deep to have it. And so we're going to score, I'm actually going to score the first one this side so I have more to hold. Get rid of the cutting blade. I've done that many a time, cut when I should score. So I've scored at 1.5. Now I'll turn it around this way because it's easier. Now, so I've scored at 1.5. The next scoring will be 4.5, so that I've got a 3 centimetre length there. And then I'm going to score it at 6 centimetres. And then 9 centimetres. And then 10.5. Or cut at 10.5, I should say. So I've got it scored so that I'm forming a box with a close, so that that closes together, so that that can move up and down. But I need to make 2, so why I did it at 3 centimetres is I'm going to put this down here at 1.5, and I'm going to cut it. So now I have 2 already done, and I'm going to glue these tabs together at the end to form those little square or rectangle boxes, opened boxes. And we'll just let that dry. Then we'll bring our card in, and these are going to sit in here, and I'm going to put them on these lines so that they're sitting upright, but they have to be able to close flat, so that it'll close down like that or sit up. So the first thing I'm going to do is put glue here and put him flat right up against the fold, and let that set. Then I'm going to put glue on this part, and that's probably a little bit too much, but we'll see how we go. And then I'm going to fold the card, and it's not sitting flat, over. So that now comes up and goes down. So I'll do that again. I need to do it again. Glue on the base, and it's going on that line there, flat and against the base of the back of the fold. So that one's, you can see that one's now sitting up. That one I'm now going to glue on. That's a better amount of glue. And again, have it flat and fold your card down. Give it a good rub, and there they are. So now I can sit some glue here. Now you don't want to use too much glue when you're doing this procedure, otherwise you might end up gluing your card shut. But I'm now going to put my tray in the middle, on those two risers, and then I'm going to hold it in and shut the card. Again, I know now my card is flat. So now we've got the mechanism in, we've got those risers in, and we've got the card as flat. And that's you might need to push your tray back, I found, because it just tends to sneak forward a bit. So there you go. There's your card, your toolbox card. Just making sure that that's all working. The next step we're going to do is take these pieces. And the first thing I'm going to do before I use that glue again is I'm going to stamp. Oh, there goes a die. You better pick that up before I either break it or lose it. I'm going to stamp on the handle. And because this is a Father's Day card, and I do have to thank Rachel Tessman. Rachel in America did this card, designed this card, and it is, I think she's done a fabulous job. And I wanted to show it to you. I thought it was great. Really loved it. So I'm going to take this stamp, and it says, "So glad you're my dad." But I don't want all that on the handle. I just want my dad. So I'm going to use, this is Stampin' Up masking paper. Now I use this to cover up. We'll put this on a block. If I do it over here, you might see better. It's hard on that stamping mat. And then I'm going to get some of this paper. And again, it's one of those ones where you take a minute to get it apart. My nails are a bit sharper this week. I might work. I'll try the pick. Got bits everywhere. That's how I did the first card too. I ended up with stuff everywhere. There's lots of little bits to make in this card. Oh, come on. Oh, don't you hate it? There it goes. So throw that away. Take this sticky bit, and I'm just covering up "So glad you're my." No, "So glad that you're" is what I'm covering up, so that I've just got "my dad" showing. And that's, I want to make sure. I find you've got to get it right to the edge, and I just tuck it in. So I know that that part of the stamp is okay and that part is well covered. And I'm using a darker grey. I'm using basic grey for the stamping. And I'll take that off now, pop that over there, and I'm just putting my dad on the handle. So then this becomes the top of our card. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the centre of the card, which is about there, and I'm going to glue those two pieces on next to each other. Quick job of glue, try and do it in camera. That looks about there. And they go like that. And then, to form the handle, top part of the handle, we'll just put some dimensionals on the back of this. Fingers are still sticky. I'll just pop one in the middle so it doesn't sag there. Now, whip these off. I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to be quicker with my fingers. They're going to stick everywhere. And I'm going to place that there. Oh, did I get it straight? I'm looking sort of sideways at it from my angle because I'm trying to keep this under the camera, and that was certainly not very straight. So let's see if I can get that again. That one I've just need another one now. That one and that one. Oh, that'll be all right. I'm going to have to get my head over it a bit more. So if my head sticks into the camera, you'll know why. That looks better. And to finish the handle off, I'm going to take some of these. These are the classic matte dots. And I'm going to take some of these grey ones. Come on. And these look like the rivets then. It needs to come down a bit more. Like so. Trying to match it up with the other side. There we go. I don't know if that does. That's not too bad. So that's the toolbox part of it done, or the tackle box. There it is, open. Now in here, I want to do Happy Father's Day. So I'll just grab now that stamp and we'll stamp that. And then the next step we'll be doing is trying to fill the tackle box. So pop that one over there to clean up after. Got the chamois out actually. And again, the basic grey. And I'm just going to stamp inside this box. Just make sure that's stamped. Yep, stuck my finger in it. So there's Happy Father's Day. Now to fill the tackle box, we need to do a whole lot of lures and hooks and all sorts of things. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do some of those. Again, we'll need our stamp mat. We'll get some white cardstock. That should be plenty. And we'll take some of these lures and some of these stamps. Now I'm stamping in Smoky Slate again. And this is so that, if I can get all this together, these will look like, we've got that one and that one. I'll get the chamois out quickly because we'll have to clean in the middle. These will then look more like silver. So there's 1, 2, 3, and there's one more. I'll just quickly clean them so I can put them back in. This is my chamois. It's not too dirty, but it does get dirty over time. Good rinse helps. But these are fabulous for cleaning your stamps. One of my favourite ways to clean. It's quick and simple. So we'll pop these back, and I need this one. Now, I'll clean him too. What we're going to do now is add some colour. And this card has, although you wouldn't think it at the moment, lots and lots of colour I put into it. So that's all those off and out of the road. And I'm going to show you the colours. These are the colours that I'm using. So I have Parakeet Party, Fresh Freesia, Daffodil Delight, Wild Wheat, Poppy Parade, and Blue, Boho Blue. And for these ones, I am going to do the feather on this lure. No, don't do it in the grey. Get rid of that. The feather on the lure, and you need to line up the bottom with the top of the feather with the top. And that just, because it's not all the way through, it has some white showing through, as a lure does. We'll just clean off to the side and get rid of. I normally leave the cleaning to the end, but there is so many bits in here. We've got stamps that are stuck up here. We need now, this one I have done in both Boho Blue and Fresh Freesia. I'll do it in Fresh Freesia today. Again, well, actually we've finished most of it now, and I've got enough blocks out. So the next one I'm going to do is this little fish lure, and I've done that in Wild Wheat and Daffodil Delight. You can use any colours, but I just wanted some bright ones to make the card bright. If you line this up with his eye, that helps you get it in the right spot. And this last one, I'm using Poppy Parade. And it's the same colour. Actually, I'm going to put that on a bit bigger one. It's the same colour as the box. So this is for the float. Now, I found, I'm going to stick my head in again, you have to be able to see that line against the stamp, or it doesn't look right. There we go. So that's all the stamping, but there are other lures that we're going to cut out as well. And I will show you how, we'll get rid of that, we can do several things at once. We will need that. Get rid of that, we'll get back into it. I'll just close my Poppy Parade first. And we need our plates. Now to fill that box, you can imagine we need lots and lots. That's why I've actually already pre-prepared some, which are over here somewhere. They were. What have I done with them? I'll find them in a minute. There's so much mess on my desk. Oh, they will be under all this, won't they? There they are. So I've got them in a little bag here of what I've already prepared, but I want to show you how to do some of these in case you get this set. It's always easier to have someone tell you how it's done. These are very tight dies, so you actually have to make sure the two little hooks, I can't get that one on with it, I've done it too close. So I'll do that one. I can do this one. So this one just goes round. That one's pretty easy. This one, make sure you get your two, you can only just see the ends of those two little hooks in there. And this one's moved. So you don't have to do just one cut at a time. You can get all, I'm going to do 3 as you can see. Gently place that down and we'll cut these 3 out. Now these lures and hooks and floats, we can use this mini machine, but to cut these trays out you need to use the larger machine. So we've got 1, 2, get rid of the rubbish, get rid of the dies so we don't lose them, 3. Now I'm going to cut out, I'm going to use some white paper. Don't need, actually I don't need all this, I might be able to get it on there with this lure. I'll have a look. Yes, that'll fit there. I need one of these little red ones and one of these. So again, I'm cutting all 3 out. Now again, this is, you've got to look, there's a little hole here and you've got to look to get the hook in that, so that otherwise you won't have the hook in the right spot. And then line up, hold that hook there and then line up the top so that you know you're getting it where it needs to be. So I now have another coloured one and I have a white and red piece, and I'll show you what we do with those in a minute. But I want to show you one more thing to cut out. Using the silver, I'm going to cut out, oh, and I didn't leave enough room when I cut this piece. We'll get 2 on, all these out. So I'll show you what these pieces create. Now that's all the cutting I'm going to do, because as I said, I've done a lot beforehand so that we weren't sitting here watching me roll millions of things through there. Okay, first thing we have coming out of here, and I'm sure you can't even see them, but 2 little floats. Sorry, sinkers. These are the sinkers. 2 little sinkers. Then I have this silver piece and this piece. Took me a while to work out what all this was. Not being a fisher woman. Then we've got a couple of hooks here. Pop the dies back, the rubbish over there. Get these out of the road. This piece I'll need to join together. It's 3 pieces. I've got a spare hook, but 3 pieces go together. The first thing we do is with this glue dot, I'm going to put it behind here. And this hook slides in and gets glued on at the back. And then this piece becomes the tail of the fish. And it doesn't have to be directly straight, it can be slightly crooked. I found the easiest way is to line it up at the back there, take a glue dot, scrunch it a little bit because it's bigger than what we need, and because you've only got a little spot to glue it on with, I just hold the 2 pieces and push the glue dot over that tail piece so that it's stuck on, like so. Now we get the fun to decorate the card with all the pieces. And it really doesn't matter what you do. Oh, I didn't show you that other one, that red and white one, did I? These are all the pieces I've already done. We won't need them all, I'm sure. This red and white one, we just take the white piece. I just put a dot of glue. Spread it round slightly and glue this red piece on. And there you have another float, like so. So let's decorate. The first thing I'm going to do, I've got one of these made up already. There's another one that I haven't made. We might pop a couple of these up here. And they can go on top of each other. I mean, how messy does a tackle box get? You know? We'll just pop a couple of those in there. Like so. I'm going to pop just a couple of dots here. And using my pick, because it'll make life easier, I'm going to pick up a couple of... Oh, it's dropped it upside down. I can use the white to get that bit of glue off. And I'll get another one of those. In here. So, I don't know if you can see, there's a couple of sinkers and 2 of those floats. Now, I'm going to pop do you know what I forgot to do? I did tell you I was going to use that other stamp and I didn't use it. Let me find, where did I put the stamps set? Under there? No, over here. I need to get that on a smaller block now. I said I would use this lined stamp, and I'm going to try to make it work. Using Smoky Slate, which is the same colour as the box, I'm just going to stamp. I'll see if I can get it in there. I don't think I can. I can get it in that one a bit. It just helps make, can I put it right at the edge there and get something in there? We'll try. Oh yes. Because it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to cover it up anyhow, but it just gives some marks where the tools or these lures and things have scraped along the bottom. And I know it's a bit hard to see, but hopefully you can see those markings there. So it shows where all the bits and pieces have been scraping. And then we'll go back to what I was doing. I will put a lure. I want to put a couple of lures in this one. We'll do a couple of those feather ones. In there. And I'll put a couple of floats in here. And you can fill it as much as you want and design it in whatever way you choose. I mean, this is just what I'm doing. You might prefer to do something completely different. I might put some twine in this one. Now I'm just going to run this around my fingers a little bit. And just put a little bit of tear and tape on it to hold it in place. I'm going to pop it into here. And I'll just pull that tape off. And to join that piece of twine, I'll put a few floats in. Now, some of they might actually have to go in with some tear and tape actually to sit on that twine. Put this one in. Oh, that one's going to stay now. I might put a third one in. We've got this one. I'm going to put him under the twine. Now I've got two of these. One in the wild wheat. Actually, I'll put that one. I'll put that one down there. And we'll pop a yellow one, daffodil, here. And I've got these. What else have we got over here? Yeah, these ones can go up here. And just because I've got them, I'm going to put a few sinkers up in that box too, just to fill in the spaces. Might put 3 up there if I've got 3. And in here, I've got a whole heap of hooks left over. Actually, we've got some bright silver ones. We might use those ones. I'm just going to put a tiny dab because I don't want the card to stick together when I close it. And here it comes. Come on. Now don't give me too much. There's a bit much there. Now I'm just going to let that sit and dry for a minute. Now you might say there's nowhere to write. And there isn't inside the card. We'll just put all these extra bits to the side. We don't need those now. I think we've got enough in our box. I'm going to use just a bit of white cardstock. And I'm going to cut that at 9.5 by 13. And I'm going to glue that on the back. And just because I want it to sort of match the bottom, I'm going to round 2 of the corners. Just like so. And we'll pop some more glue on this. I'm actually thinking that's looking a little bit plain. So what I might do is, what have we got left that I can grab? Put some of them away. I think I'm going to put something on the back. I might put a couple of lures or a float, maybe a float. We'll do 3. So let's quickly, we're going to need, where did I put it? I'm getting myself all covered in a mess here. We'll just quickly clean some of these. I'll pop you off for a minute. Oh, I don't need you, I'm not doing yours. Pop you over there with the stamps. So I'll need a red one. What do we do? A red one, a blue one and a green one. So let's get our smoky slate again, wherever I threw that one. Gee, I'm not very well organised today, am I? This desk is a mess. I've been busy trying to get catalogues ready to go out to people. And, oh, this is what I was frightened would happen. Oh, I made a bit of a mess there. Because it's already in here, I have to press really hard to get it to go down. I should have done this before. And there I put a red line on there. This isn't very well done, but you're getting the gist of it. And the last one I was going to do was this one. And we'll do this one. And look, perhaps we'll do it over here. And then the colours. I need, where'd that one go? In here. This is very rough on the back here, folks, but you're getting the idea. That just in so it's not completely blank on the back. and the red one. Very rough, but there it is. So it's not completely black, and then you can write, well, it's even crooked. Didn't do a good job at all, but it's a space for you to write, so that it's a card with a bit of space at the back to write. My dad, happy Father's Day, and there's all the things he'd love, all the fishing things. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing how that's made. Might have inspired you to do something a little bit different yourself. Now I'm going to turn you back to me. Right, hopefully we're there. Now, just a reminder that the new catalogue is coming out. This will have all your Christmas supplies in it. Now, if you want a copy of this, you need to get in touch with me. If you've been on my mailing list, you will automatically get one, or if you come to my classes. So that's coming up. I'm also doing Father's Day cards coming up. We have classes this week and next week on Tuesdays. So give me a call if you want to join those classes. I've definitely got space on the third Tuesday of the, no, it's going to be the 5th Tuesday this time. Getting all confused. I've definitely got space on the 5th Tuesday of the month for class. If you want to join that class, I think it's the 29th. I haven't got my calendar in front of me. But give me a hoy, and we're going to make some Father's Day, well, mail cards that could be Father's Day or birthday cards. So but get in touch if you need a catalogue or you want to join classes. But otherwise, make a card for your dad for Father's Day. And here's a great idea. Go on fishing. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next week when we'll try and do another type of card, and we'll probably use make it with some trucks. All right, enjoy your week. Try and stay warm, and I will catch you next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.